Okay, the purpose of this video is to illustrate how I change my strings on a 12-hole tie block, specifically the 12-hole tie block on one of my guitars. As you can see, the strings are already removed. One thing that I do a little bit different from other people who utilize the 12-hole tie block is I stagger the overlapping strings, the holes for the overlap, on opposite directions in relation to the treble strings and to the bass strings. And you'll see why I do it that way here in just a minute. So, for the purpose of this demonstration, I am using a set of Labella 2001 medium hard tension strings, and we always start with the high E string. So, we go through the lower hole first. Okay, give yourself plenty of slack to work with, and wrap it around and come through the higher hole and bring it through the loop. Grab a source of flame. Hold the end of the string a safe distance away from the guitar's finish and melt a hole. Melt a ball. Give it several seconds to cool and to set. Give it a touch to make sure it has set, and it has. All right, we're going to pull out the slack. What we're going to do when we pull out the slack is we're going to hold that melted ball just past where the B string is going to go, and then we're going to take out the slack. All right, we'll go ahead and fasten it to the tuning machine. This is very important. You want to go ahead and tighten up the slack, but you do not want to do any more than that. Just enough to tighten up the slack, for reasons that will be obvious here in just a minute. Okay. Now we go to the B string. Bring it in through the lower hole, feed it through the lower hole. Bring it around, give yourself plenty of slack. Feed it through the upper hole. Bring it through the loop, and you also want to make sure that the end of this E string is also going through the loop. Okay. Pull it away from the guitar. Give it a source of fire. Melt a ball. Give it several seconds to cool. Touch it, make sure it's set. It's set, we're good to go. All right, same as before with the E string, except this time we're going to hold the melted ball of the B string just past the hole where the G string is going to be. And make sure that that E string is in this loop. Fasten to the tuner. as before, just take out the slack. Do not bring it up to tension just yet. Okay, now we'll do the same thing with the G-string. Feed it through the lower hole. Loop it around, feed it back through the upper hole. Feed it through the loop. Bring itself out just enough slack. Keep it away from the guitar's finish. Melt a ball. Give it several seconds to set. Touch it and make sure it's not tacky. We're good to go. And hold the ball end of the G string just past where the D string is going to go. Tighten out the slack. Fasten to the tuner. And tighten up with the tuner just enough to take out the slack. Now the D string. Okay, feed it through the lower hole, wrap it around, feed it through the upper hole, feed it through the loop. This time you don't have to go too far because the windings will be enough to hold the D string in place. Just want to make sure that that D string loop is grabbing onto the G string end. Take out the slack, put the other end in the tuner. Tune it up just enough to take out the slack. Okay, and now you will repeat that same process for the A string and for the E string, and then when you are ready to tune up, you always tune up starting with the E string, then the A string, then the D string, and by that time the bass strings will be tight enough to hold the overlaps on each of the trebles, and you'll tune the G string, the B string, and the E string. And by that time, everything should have settled in tight enough that you won't have to worry about any slipping problems, and you can go ahead and tune up as normal. But when you first tune up, always start with the bass strings first and work your way up to the trebles. And I hope this helps. Any questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you.